people, we are so excited to be live once again. Here we go. Y'all drop a 19. We are officially on episode 19, and we are so excited to have just one more opportunity to spend just a few minutes with you exploring something around leadership, culture, and engagement. Because boss educator, that's our lane, that's our zen, that's our zone of genius, right? Anything positive leadership, anything culture, anything engagement. And so tonight is no different than any other night. You guys know we are here for a great time, not a long time. So let's get the party started. Tonight we are talking about how do you effectively communicate when there is chaos. And can we all be honest? In 2024, there seems to be chaos on the left, chaos on the right, chaos in the front of us, and chaos like just all around, right? And so whether you have an official title of leader in your building, in your school, in your organization, in your home, or you are activating leadership. And remember, those are two different things, right? Leadership does not require a title, it requires action. And so that's what we're talking about. How do you effectively communicate when we're activating leadership for change, right? And so you might be asking, why does this topic even matter? Why does this particular topic matter, folks? It matters because where there is chaos, we must reestablish order. Okay, we've got to create a sense of calm so we can get the work, whatever your work is, done, right? In a peaceful, productive, and positive manner. So that's number one. That's why it matters first and foremost. Number two, we've heard this over and over and over and over again. Morale is low. Have you heard that lately? In your organization, even in your town, right? Morale is low. Morale is low. I can guarantee you, if I came into your organization and we did an assessment together, one of the things that we will find that is an underbelly, right? A reason, a plausible route to the chaos is there is a lack of effective communication there, right? So that's number two. You guys know, make sure that you've liked this video. Go ahead and share because we believe in sharing the good stuff. That's what we want to do today. We want to share the good stuff. So all you got to do is like, share, right? Tag a friend so they can join us. So again, number one, we want to reestablish order. Two, we want to make sure that we're increasing positivity. And then the last thing is we want to increase productivity. We want to get our jobs done as effectively and efficiently as we possibly can, right? And we know in schools that means increases in student achievement. That's what that boils down to. In business, we're talking about increasing our bottom line. We're talking about increasing profits, right? We're talking about decreasing loss. We're talking about keeping the bang for the buck in the house as it relates to business. So those are three of the reasons why does this topic matter? Why are we talking about communicating during chaos? But before we dive in, you guys know one of the things we do. Y'all tell me something good. Tell me something good. Dun, dun. Y'all know I like that little part. Stop right there. Before we dive into these tips that I have for you tonight, what is something good that's happened in your world? Remember, it doesn't have to be anything massive. It could be personal, professional, social, emotional, spiritual. Y'all, we're going to get on that topic soon, and I'm so excited about my guest that's coming on. Y'all, the episode is called Let Me Be Spiritual, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited about it. But drop something positive that's happened in your world over this last week. Remember, we've got as a boss, a bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial individual, we train our brains to find the good. And the more we find the good, the more the good shows up. So make sure right now in the chat, drop something good that's happened in your world over the last week. You guys know we want to hear the good stuff. We want to celebrate the good stuff. Remember, it's very important that you know somebody cares about your good things, even if they're small things. So here we go. Communicating through chaos. Communicating through chaos. Here we go. What would I say to someone who came to me and said, Dr. Nelson, we need help. Everything is just chaotic right now, right? One of the first things that I would do, right, outside of going in to do a deep dive with you to figure it out, I would tell you, are you being open, honest, and transparent with your people? One of the biggest things that feeds mistrust is the lack of transparency, right? When people feel like as a leader, you are hiding something and or you are not acknowledging the big elephant that's in the room, right? You know, the one that's gotten so big that like it's suffocating everybody, but you still won't acknowledge it. Like we lose credibility when we ignore things that need to be addressed, right? And so it's critically important, especially in change, right? Talking about for my corporate world, I work with change management, right? We've got to be open and honest and transparent. And y'all, can I be honest? That means sometimes acknowledging I don't have all of the answers, right? You'd be so much better off to say, I don't have all the answers, but that's what we're here for. We're solution seekers instead of faking the funk when people can see clearly. It's slapping everybody in the face clearly that we've got some gaps, right? So making sure that we're open and honest with our people, especially if you're in an organization that right now is struggling. One of the worst things you can do is to ignore that we're struggling and just keep putting the lipstick on the pig, right? We've got to open up and first acknowledge. We've got to first acknowledge, yes, we have some issues, but y'all, we are going to jump these hurdles together. So tip one, y'all drop that in the chat for me. The first thing you need to do is be honest. Be transparent, right? Talking about communicating through chaos. It's critically important that we are doing just that. So that's tip one. Tip two, is the vision clear? So I shared this last week, and it was just such a profound example of what I mean by this. I was called in a couple of months ago to an organization who, she said, listen, my people, they just don't want to do what I'm asking them to do. Like, I know they're whining. I know they're fussing. They're in the parking lot. They're having the meetings after the meetings to say that hashtag we won't go. Right. And so what I asked her and her entire leadership team was, well, what is our vision? What are our clear priorities for right now? And folks, nobody in the room could tell me what they were. And so I said, okay, there we go. When there is chaos, go with me. This is the equivalent of everybody sitting in darkness, okay? Let's say there are 100 people in a small space and we are sitting in darkness. And I'm saying, all right, y'all, let's go. What's going to happen? Drop it in the chat for me. If we're sitting in a dark, crowded room, dark, no light, it's crowded, and I'm saying, y'all, let's go. What happens? What is going to happen there? You got it. Traffic, like we got wrecks, we got issues. We might even have a little brawl because somebody touched my feet like all of the things that we don't want to have happen. But when we have a clear vision, when we have clear priorities, it's like somebody going over and turning the switch on. I can see clearly now the rain is gone, right? And maybe the rain isn't gone, but we can see clear enough that there's the exit. That's what we need to work on, right? It opens our eyes to see, all right, this is where we need to be spending our energy, right? And so it's critically important that if the light is not on, people are going to spend their energy whining, complaining, and going in circles. I'm not going to get biblical on you tonight, but you guys know the folks in the wilderness 40 years, what did they do? They went in circles. So we've got to turn the light on, and the light is the vision. The light is clearly articulating what our priorities are. Collective efficacy. Y'all drop that in the chat for me. Collective efficacy. I don't care if you're talking about it in a school, in an organization, even in your home. Collective efficacy simply means, what does the team believe about the team? Does the team believe that we can get the job done, right? And often we are lacking collective efficacy because the team doesn't even know what the job is that we got to do, right? It's like, why are we here? What are we doing, right? We've got to get crystal clear on the vision and our current priorities. And let me say this. In a school where everything is all over the place, in an organization where business where you feel like, y'all, we're tanking, we might have to close next month, everything can't be the top priority, right? Because if everything is the top priority, guess what is the priority? You got it right. Nothing, right? So we've got to learn, even in the midst of, yes, we've got this big vision. Yes, we want to get out of this turnaround status. Yes, we want to become a blue ribbon school. Or yes, we want to become, on the top 10 for the state in ABCDFG. But the way that we get there is chunking it, right? We've got this big vision, but what are our current priorities? So talking about communicating through chaos, There will be chaos if there is no vision, if there is no clear priorities established. There will be chaos, right? And so I need you to know, check yourself right now. Think about that for your school. Think about that for your organization. Can you answer that? What is our vision and what are our top two to three priorities that we're working on right now? Things that make you go, right? So it's very important that we keep that in mind. So you guys, again, tip one was we got to open up and be honest. We've got to acknowledge, wait a minute, we could do a better job at communicating. We could do a better job at creating ... Be honest about that thing. And let me say this, take ownership. This is hard to do, right? It's hard often to do as a leader when you know you're not sleeping at night. It's hard to do when you know you put your entire paycheck back into your or to the building or to the kids or to the whatever it is, right? You've exhausted all you think right now, and so it's hard when people are saying it's a blank show for you to be like, you know what, it's my blank show. But I got to tell you, as leaders, as boss ladies, boss kings and queens, we take ownership. We take ownership and then we seek solution. And you guys know, I told you guys this as well last week. Partnership is needed for purpose work. Purpose work requires partnership, right? So I'm going to take ownership, y'all. It's a mess. I take it. But listen, this is what we are going to do to fix it. So again, tip one, tip one was that. Tip two was talking about the vision. This is right here where the rubber meets the road. Okay. What often happens, and y'all drop this in the chat for me, communicate early and often. Early and often. What happens is often we think, I thought I told them that. I thought I told them what we were strategically working on right now, literacy across the curriculum. I thought that I told them that everybody needs to read, write, respond to text 20 minutes in every single, like I thought, right? Ask your neighbor, what happens when we think communicate early and often. And I have to add in varied formats, right? In varied formats, because can we be honest? As boss educators, boss leaders, boss queens, think about you. Think about how many times you get an email that like, it was so long, you didn't go all the way through it. Think about how many times you did. You had 1,000 text messages and you thought you read it all the way through, but you really did not, right? Think about just you. Think about how often you are bombarded with information, right? And so it's critically important that you know, research has clearly shown us that it's only when you think you've over communicated a thing to your folks, to your team, that you probably have started to get the message across. Let me say that again. It's only when you think that you've overly communicated, like, I thought I told them that yesterday and the day before that and 3 times today. Now you're starting to get somewhere with clearly articulating what the vision is and what the priorities are. Again, when people don't know what to do, hashtag they make up stuff. Listen, when people don't know what to do, they make up stuff. Y'all drop in the chat, what type of stuff do people make up when they're not clear on what's expected of them and what they should be doing? Drop it in the chat. What do people do when they are not clear on what they are supposed to be doing in the organization, in the classroom, right? At the business, at the restaurant? For my folks, I have quite a few people that are running restaurants. What happens to people on the team if they are not crystal clear on what they are supposed to be doing, where, how, all of the good things? What happens? I'm going to wait for it. I know there's a lag, but I'm going to wait on this one. Drop in the chat, what happens when the team is not clear on what each member of the team is supposed to be doing and how it ties into the bigger picture of the vision and the goal? What happens? Y'all, my mug, y'all know I love mugs. Absolutely, boss steward. They make up procedures and pass misinformation. I love. Listen, where there's a void in communication, where there is a void in communication, blank will fill it. You fill in the blank, right? And some of the fill in the blank is going to be misinformation. Some of the blank is going to be they made up some random stuff, right? People, it's human nature. We like to make sense of things, and when there are holes In our brains, you do it all day, every day. It's how we make assumptions about things. There are some missing pieces. And so what you do is you go based on your prior knowledge and you dump something in there from the past that possibly has nothing to do with the future, right? But that's the way our brains, that's the way we are wired. We are wired that way. Psychology 101 to stay safe, right? But we've got to know as leaders and activating in leadership that anytime you leave a blank, anytime people aren't crystal clear on what's expected, they're going to do something that hashtag we're not going to like later. Right? So again, tip 3 is to communicate early and often. Again, specifically in varied formats. So absolutely half-done tasks, poor quality work, which again feeds back into the chaos. It's a cycle. You drop that in the chat. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Half-done tasks, poor quality work is going to tie right back into the chaos, right? Because when the organization is not moving, people are sitting in the mess. They're going to sit in it, right? They're going to sit in unproductivity. They're going to sit in negativity. So we've got to make sure that at all times, folks, we are clearly communicating, often in varied formats. Listen, do a poll. Ask your staff, ask your team, ask your students, what is your preferred method of communication? Some folks want a quick text, right? Some folks want a really, really quick text. Some people would love the bulleted 1,000-point emails. For those of you that do Slack, whatever it is, even social media, like figure it out what your people need and hashtag who doesn't have to be you. Drop that in the chat. When you figure out what's the preferred formats, maybe you're not the guru at producing and creating those things, but somebody on your team can be great with that, right? But just be crystal clear on where we are going. Your people have got to know where, how, right? When. They've got to know all of those things, because when they don't, listen, I'm going to write another book that y'all are going to think is a not real life, right? Because I can tell you some stories about what truly happens. Tip 4. Have you created a way for people to give you feedback, right? Because communication in an organization is not a one-way street. Communication has to be two ways, because when it's not, what happens? Folks feel disgruntled. They don't feel valued. They don't feel seen, and they don't feel heard. Again, it's going to go right back into that cycle of chaos if we don't have a way for people to be truly a part of the solution. If we don't have a way for them to know, you know what, I know sometimes things aren't right, and I would like to hear from you, from your perspective, because we know that perspective is king. And depending on where you're sitting, my friends, you see something differently. I promise you, if I say to you, look directly in front of whatever you have, what I see in front of me is completely different than what you see. And if we're not careful, both of us will be saying the thing, and I'll be saying, girl, you're wrong. That is not what's there, and vice versa. So we've got to acknowledge that perspective is a beautiful thing to have in your organization. And you need to hear from all sides so we can create a 360 solution, right? So not just say that, but what's the system for it? Drop that in the chat. This is one of the things that I want you guys to hear tonight about effective communication. You got to have a system for it. We know that, like, the gurus on systems thinking tells us, right, that systems are perfectly designed to get the results that they are. So guess what? If it's chaotic in your building as it relates to communication, as it relates to collaboration, you gotta look at the blueprint, because whatever you are doing, you are perfectly designing it to be that way. So we've got to go back to the drawing board to see, what are we doing? I'm talking about systems. Y'all drop it in the chat. Systems thinking. We've got to create systems for, you guys know that in the past we would say there's an app for that. Well, in your building, my friends, in your organization, in your restaurant, even in your home, you need to have a system for the thing if we want it to work as smoothly, like a well-oiled machine that it can be. So again, we've got to think in systems. Again, drop that in the chat for me. Systems thinking. We've got to create systems. So one example of this, right? Talking about two-way protocols. What's facts is in schools, in organizations, sometimes people feel like they have a lot on their chest that they need to get out, right? Once a month, create a structure for people to bring those things to, but it's structured, right? It could be your wine and cheese, right? Get you some Welch's grape juice. Get you a nice little cheese boy. Do the thing. Sit in a circle. Psychology tells us that there is power in the way that even in your meetings, people are seated. Let me say that again. Psychology tells us, research tells us, seating arrangement in meetings can have a positive or negative impact. So, this is an example of one, the wine and cheese. Create circles, create a big circle so that people know that we are all here. We're seeing, let people get it out, right? And tell them, listen, we're working on these things, and you got to do what you say you're going to do now. That's the next one that we're getting to, right? Tip 5, always pour. Let me tell you what pour means, and I want you guys to drop these in the chat as we are saying them. The P stands for provide guidance, right? Provide clarity. When people are in an organization and there's chaos, you need to intentionally, proactively, overly proactively provide clarity. Provide clarity to what are we doing today and why are we doing it. If people know the why, even if they don't like the how, more than likely they'll go. Let me say that again. Even if people don't like the how you are getting to the result, right? They don't like the fact that we have to do AR, right? Even if they don't like AR, if they understand, baby, our students are operating 3.5 grade levels behind, and we need a system to help at least track and get the ball going, right? If this doesn't work, we'll find, but we've got to start here, right? So when people understand why, even if they don't like the how, they'll go, right? So it's critically important that, again, we provide clarity. That's what the P stands for on the always pour. The O stands offer guidance. And I'm saying guidance intentionally because too many times, remember, in leadership, who doesn't have to be you? Your way may not be the best way. And so guidance suggests that I am not making you. And you guys know, remember, leadership, we can't make anybody do anything. My middle school students were always blown away when they would get in my office, and I would tell them, hey, I am not here to make you do anything. And I would pause and let them sit in there, right? Because it was like you're not trying to make me? And so from there on, listen, you could see the light bulb going off, because at that point they understand, like, I'm offering you some suggestions. It's up to you to take that guidance and run with it, right? But people, human nature, think about you. You don't want to be told to do anything. Can we be honest? We don't. Nobody wants to be told. But when we are provided with possible solutions and options, people will take the guidance and they'll go, right? So P, provide clarity. The O stands for offering guidance. The U, listen, uplift. This is critically important. Use your words carefully, my friends. Use your words carefully. Make sure that at the end of the conversation, the communication, that people walk away with their humanity. All right. Let me say that again. It's critically important that at the end of any communication, people walk away with their humanity. They walk away with their dignity. I do not care what the situation is. As a leader, if you are not intentionally making sure that people are walking away with it, I promise you, you're losing trust. And it won't be long before people will not respond to a thing that you have to say. And listen, you've got to know, even in the classroom, I'll never forget this, right? There was one time, babies will come and tell on folks. They just come and tell. They tell. If they feel, you'll listen. I had a baby one time that said, Dr. Nelson, it's not me. I never get in trouble. But the way Miss Blank talks to Blank all the time, I don't think she's a nice person. And so you got to know over time, because that was what that baby was thinking and feeling, her behavior starts to shift that way. And the behavior wasn't even going directly toward her. So you've got to know, even as a leader, people are watching the way that you communicate to everybody at all times. And so it's critically important that while you are communicating through chaos, you are intentionally uplifting others. You're uplifting the organization. You're uplifting humanity. You're uplifting broken down spirits. Y'all, again, I told you one of the next ones coming up is Let Me Be Spiritual, and you don't want to miss that one because it's going to be hot, right? We're talking about the role that spirituality plays in you being an effective leader. That's going to be one for the books, right? So again, P stands for provide clarity, offer guidance, uplift. And this is the last one, y'all. Drop it in the chat. Respond impeccably. And I'm going to pause for a minute. Respond impeccably. Stop letting people, and I'm leaning in. I'm leaning in. I'm getting real. Stop letting people put you up against the wall as a leader. Drop that in the chat, right? We are going to stop allowing people to push us against the wall and in a corner to the point that you just have to say something on the spot. You got to be Johnny on. No, no, no. Because again, if you are not intentional with what's coming out of your mouth, you will find yourself unintentionally trying to give solutions that you can't follow through on, right? You will find yourself telling people to do things that you're not able to support them in doing. So we've got to stop allowing people, right? As a leader and operating in leadership, don't let people, it's okay to say, you know what? I want to offer you the best possible support, the best possible solution, and that's going to require you to give me just a minute. Y'all drop that in the chat. Give me a minute. Give me just 1 minute. Right? Because again, we've got to be impeccable with our words. We've got to make sure that what's coming out of our mouth, we can follow through. What's coming out of our mouth, we can model it, we can support it, we can champion it on, right? And so again, that last one is responding impeccably. Again, provide clarity, offer guidance, uplift, 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 and then respond impeccably. Listen, it's class. Here we go. Tip 1, be honest and transparent. Tip 2 was making sure the vision and the priorities are clear, crystal clear, that you are communicating those things early and often. And listen, don't forget that number 1. Y'all stop ignoring those elephants in the room. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And guess who's feeding them? You're feeding it, right? So again, 3 is communicating early and often in varied formats. Remember that. It's not just enough to say, I sent the email. Send a text too. Post it on the group chat. Do all the things so that however people are receiving information, right, best, that they get it in one of the other ways. Tip 4, making sure that we have structure for people to know that I'm listening. It might be a monthly survey that they're getting feedback. Like, you've got structure for feedback, structure for people to know that it's a two-way street. And then we're always pouring. You guys know the question. What's your one takeaway from tonight? Come on, drop it in the chat. What is your takeaway from tonight? I see you, Boss Funch, said, listen, this is mine. Give me a minute. And it's okay. You'd much rather take a minute, or 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 5 hours to give a carefully crafted best support response than to give one on the spot that, you know what, you've lost credibility and now they're even more ticked off than they were before you came to you, right? We'll take them being hot 5 more seconds, 5 more minutes over you, like, losing your strength and your trust that you've built. And it takes a long time to build trust, but only a few minutes for people to like, oh my God, she's not gonna do what she said. So you, my friend, take a minute. Listen, in the classroom, you guys know what we said. Give me 5. Give me 5, right? It's okay as a leader to tell the grown folks, give me 5. I'll be right back, right? Give me 5. I see you. I have a bad habit of responding to emails immediately after hours. No. Listen, you guys know we've talked about that. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Boundaries keep us safe. And can I tell you, my dear friend, Dr. Dent, we are all the time teaching people how to treat us personally and professionally. Us responding at night, and I've been guilty, right? We're all growing in this thing. When we respond at night, it says, hey, I'm on duty all the time. So guess what they're going to do the next time and the next time and the next time versus maybe the first time you have an auto response. I'm so happy to be of support to you. I'll respond during normal business hours, right? Put it on auto response. All right, she said, my one is to uplift. The world is so negative. Absolutely. And you've got to know it is so much easier for people to try to pull you down than for folks to uplift. But we've got the power to do that. We're boss. We're spreading love and light. That is what we intentionally do as Boss Tribe members. And everybody on here, you are in the Boss Tribe. You got to know that, right? So we are being the difference, right? And there are so many things that we can do to trump negativity. You guys know Dr. Martin Luther King said it best. The only thing that can drive out hate, right, and darkness is light, love, and light. So let's get to it. Come on, help me. That's what I'm talking about. Come on through. Hey, boss, how are you? We hope that something was said tonight that help you think through how can I intentionally, and you guys know I say don't try to take all of it, just hold on to one. Try your one thing this week, and I promise you it'll make a huge difference. Just one thing done well will make a very drastic difference. Remember, we are all trying to make more impact. We are all trying to leave legacies. We're all trying to leave people, places, and programs better than we found it. And I've got to tell you, let me tell you, doing this kind of work is not easy. I should not lie to you, my friends. It is not easy, but it's so worth it. And you are so the right person right now in your current seat, wherever that seat may be. You are the right person to create change. You're the right person to spread some love and to spread some light. Folks, it's been a pleasure. You guys know I can't always wait to rock with you for next time. So again, y'all go ahead and set those Palm Pilots. Tell a friend. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. And y'all drop it in the chat for me. I'm making boss moves this week. Listen, it's time. It's okay, boss treater. We are all guilty. We are all, listen, I am a work in progress. But can I tell you, the more I progress, I'm going to make sure that I'm sharing with you guys so you too can do the same. And I am charging you to do the same. When you learn something, it's our duty to share it with others. You don't have to have the whole thing figured out. If you figured out one piece, share it with somebody. It'll help them along their way. And that's what this thing's all about. Y'all drop it in the chat. I'm making boss moves this week. And you guys know what boss moves stands for. It stands for being bold. We're making bold moves. We're making optimistic moves. We're making spontaneous moves. And we are most definitely, we're game changers. We're hope dealers. We're purpose pushers. So y'all hope dealers, y'all purpose pushers, my boss tribe, y'all make it a great week. Remember, just be you. Don't try to be nobody else, right? You heard that incorrect English. Don't try to be nobody else. The best person you could ever be is the realest version of you. And y'all step in there like a boss. Y'all go be boss.